Hey, what's up guys? Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've been kind of busy. Short news, for those of you who don't know, I was actually laid off a while ago from work, and for a while I've kind of been not working, obviously, but prayers were answered yesterday, I believe, and I got a job in a landscaping business, and I'm starting Thursday. So that being said, I'm actually gonna have to reschedule my videos. I haven't figured out yet. If you follow me on Instagram, I will post when I figure out a date. I will post when I will be making my new videos. But thank you all for the prayers and thank you for your support. I'm pretty nervous, pretty excited about this job. We'll see how it goes. It starts tomorrow, Thursday at 6:45 a.m. I haven't gotten up that early in a long time, so it's gonna be interesting. But again, thank you for your prayers, and today it's gonna be all questions. So let's get into these questions and figure out what's up. The first question was actually pretty cool because no one has asked me about anything musical in a while. But it was, what are tips for beginners for guitar? There's another question also that says, what are ways to get faster on the piano? So this answer is gonna answer both questions. When you're learning anything new, start slow. Just start slow. Don't expect to be playing at someone else's speed when they are totally different, you know. I've gotten comments where people have said, I want to play like you, and I'm like, you can't play like me. And I'm not being mean, I'm just saying you can't, because my style is different. You know, you have to find your own style. And that is one thing about music that is so awesome, is that when you're learning, you find your own style. You create your own style of playing stuff. You know, I play things differently from other people, but to me, I'm like, that's pro. And they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. So when you're learning something new, one, be open-minded. You know, don't be so like, okay, you know, it has to be like this. No, it can be any way you want. But when you're learning it that way, make sure that it's slow. You know, if you're playing a guitar and you're learning, you know, the chord progression, you know, of C, the chord scale. I don't even know about that much about guitar. But when you're going C to G, you know, make it, you know, really slow. You know, you don't have to be all like quick. It doesn't have to be like from the get-go. No, it takes time. It takes practice. It takes commitment. It takes determination. You know, if you really want to get that good, it's going to take some time out of it. Same thing with piano. You know, if you want to get faster, if you want to go faster on your rolls or on your scales or whatever, you know, don't expect to just no. It's gonna just go very slow, back and forth at a pretty good tempo for yourself, and then when you feel comfortable, then take it up a notch a little, and then just keep going, and pretty soon you'll be able to play at that speed. You know, I was never to play those runs in my videos, you know, for a while. I mean, I was never able to play that, but it took time, and now I can play them. So, but those are good questions, you know, because with music, when you're learning anything new, again, take it slow and be open-minded. You know, be open to anything. Find your own style. Figure out what you want to do. The other question was, what are ways to get your parents to trust you? This was a pretty deep one, honestly. I'm gonna need my coffee for this one because I'm gonna need to think. Yeah, that's good. Sorry, you know, you guys know me. I'm a coffee addict. It's a pretty deep question, only because, you know, there's a lot of things in it. One of the ways to get your parents to trust you is to give them something to trust. If you're constantly disobeying what they tell you to do, they're not really going to trust you. You know, if they tell you to come back at this time and you come back later than that time, then, you know, you're not gaining that trust. Being responsible, growing up, and growing up not like, you know, okay, turning 12. No, I'm talking about like growing up, you know, mentally, even spiritually. So by doing that, when you grow up and you start thinking, again, open-minded, when you start thinking about other things, then your parents will see that. Now, granted, I know that they're there may be some parents that no matter what, they just don't trust you. And, you know, I have no remedy for that. You know, I can't say like, oh, well, do this. No. That's just something that you and God have to work out with. You're going to have to ask God to help you get through it and say, Lord, give them grace, or give them the spirit of grace, give them the spirit of mercy, or the eyes of mercy to trust me, you know, as you trust me. You know, but again, it all falls back on you. If you are the type that doesn't like to listen, doesn't like to obey, and doesn't like to listen to what people tell you to do, I'm sorry, you're out of luck. You can't really get the trust from your parents. But if you are diligent and you do your chores, you do your homework, you do what you're supposed to do, then your parents have more of a reason to trust you. You know, I for one, people have asked me, wow, you're really close with your parents. You know, you're very, you know, it seems like you can do anything. And I tell them, yeah, because they trust me. And the reason why, another thing that plays into trust is that you're open with them. You know, don't hold anything in. Be open with your parents. For all you know, they might have the answer that you're looking for. You know, and just because they're old people doesn't mean that they don't know what you're going through. I mean, they're there for a reason. They're there to guide you. They're there to help you. You know, if you don't understand something, go to your dad. And if your dad doesn't understand, then go to your mom. You know, and then get both of them and say, okay, you know, if they're both telling you the same thing, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I should do that. You know, but if one person is saying, okay, do this, and one person is saying, do that, and then that's when you actually can pray and ask God, okay, Lord, what do I do? You know, my mom says this, my dad says this, what should I do? You know, and again, once you give them something to trust on, then you can do the things that you want to do. But don't use that trust to take advantage of your parents. You know, even if they allow you to be out all night, don't do it. Because one, you have no business being out late. And second, you know, it's like you're taking advantage of God's grace. You know, like you can't, you know, God's grace can only go so far. And then before you know it, he's like, okay, look, you want to do your thing? Fine, go do your own thing. I'm not going to protect you because you are just going out of my will. And that's the same thing with our parents. You know, they want the best for us, and they put their trust in us. But sometimes if we keep going out of their trust, out of their way, they're like, look, we can't trust you anymore. You give me nothing to trust. So if you guys want more info on that, you know, let me know, and I'll actually do a separate video on that. But that's just a small portion of how to get your parents to trust. Yeah, that was a lot. Hold on, I'm gonna need another sip of coffee. Hold on. Okay, good stuff. All right. The next question was, what do I think about jealousy? What I think about jealousy is that, from what I've learned in my 20 years of life, and not like I've lived long, but what I've learned is that if you have jealousy, it's a sign of immaturity. Because think about what you're being jealous over. I mean, think about it. Do you realize how much effort it takes to be jealous? You have to think about what that person or something. Then you have to think about, you know, the situation. And it's just a lot of overthinking, and then you get jealous for no good reason. But someone who is constantly jealous of something is that they're not content with their lives. See, when you have Christ in your heart, you don't have to be jealous. You don't have to worry about anything. You're like, I'm content with what I have. Now, I got a house, I got clothes, I got a job, I got a car. What more can I ask for? You know, these are what I need. You know, okay, if someone has a better car than you, okay, God bless them. Okay, cool. They have a cool car. And even if they shove in your face, if those people say, well, I have this and I have that, don't sweat it. Because if they have to have those things to make them feel happy, then they actually are missing everything out in life. But if you have Christ in your heart, and even if you just have a car, a regular car, you're like, hey, this is transportation. I mean, how many people actually have a car to where, or young kids that are able to get a car. You know, not everyone is able to get a car or even have a license and everything. So jealousy, in my opinion, is a dumb thing to have. You know, you miss out on everything. You worry on the negative instead of looking at the bright side of what you have. So what I think about jealousy, it's a sign of immaturity, a sign of you're not content with your life. So am I saying that I have ever gotten jealous? Of course I have. I mean, there have been many times where I gotten jealous. But as I grew up, I realized there's no need to get jealous. Like, there's no need for me to worry about something that is out of my control. You know, if someone in California has $1 million house, that's not, how should that affect me? Why should that affect me? I'm in Virginia. Like, okay, like, who cares? You know, but if you are content with what you have, you don't have to worry about what people have or what you don't have and all that. So, you know, keep that in check. You know, and that goes for all of you. You know, like, if you find yourself getting jealous, just remember the things that God gave you. Remember the things that you were blessed with, and just say, okay, you know what? There's no need. Another question was, where do you get your messages? You know, where do you get your inspiration to say stuff? A lot of the stuff that I have, sometimes it'll just hit me. I'll be sitting there and then I'll be playing video games and I'm just like, oh wow. Wow, you know, like those moments, like maybe like when the message, like when the word of God like doesn't hit you at first, like on Sunday, but then like somewhere during the week something goes on and you're just like, whoa, like it just opens, like it just, and that sometimes that's with me. Like a lot of the things I think of, granted I post them at night, but a lot of the things that come to my mind, it's just, they're just thoughts that come to my head, thought-provoking either questions or messages that I'm just like, you know, I really want to write this down. And there are many stuff that I haven't put on Instagram only because I keep it for myself. For those of you who don't know, or maybe have heard or whatnot, I am trying to pursue becoming a minister. So a lot of the messages that I have right now, I might save that for that moment. But yeah, so a lot of the stuff that I get is just from just thinking, from just praying and reading scriptures and just studying, you know, the Word of God and allowing Him to speak to me. And because one of the things that I've noticed is that being active in the church sometimes can pull you away from God's voice. You know, like if you're constantly in, you know, all these groups within your church, and if you're constantly like playing on the music, the praise team and all that, it takes away the opportunity to actually just sit and listen, you know. And so that's why I advise all of you. I'm not saying that being involved in church and being all in these groups is bad. No, I'm not saying that. But every once in a while, you know, when you get the opportunity to sit, read the Word of God, and let God speak to you, because when you do that, then He's able to answer all the prayers, you know. And I think that personally, on a little side note, I think that's why a lot of us struggle, is that we're so busy doing things that we don't stop and listen to what God has to tell us. So, but yeah, that's where I get a lot of my messages. Obviously, it's just from reading, praying, thinking, you know, talking to God, and, you know, doing all that. Right, so that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all your support. I passed 100 subscribers, which I'm really thankful for. Again, thank you for your support and everything. Continue to like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Follow me on all those social stuff. And I will be figuring out a new date to post videos, because I'm going to be busy working now. And so I'm probably going to have to reschedule my vlogging. So, but I'll keep you all posted. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless.